This episode is brought to you by Bumble. So, you want to find someone you're compatible with, specifically someone who's ready for a serious connection, totally open to having kids in the future, is a tall, rock-climbing Libra, and loves rom-coms with vegan pizzas on Tuesdays just as much as you do. Bumble knows that you know exactly what's right for you. So whatever it is you're looking for, Bumble's features can help you find it. Date now on Bumble.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen. Don't listen to this podcast.
Don't listen to this.
If you're not of age.
What's of age?
18.
So 16?
18. We're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast.
What's poppin'?
What's up, brother?
Welcome back to the show. Hope you guys are subscribing and doing all sorts of sharing and
Yeah, just liking and listening really.
all sorts of that, just on repeat.
Yeah, just nonstop. Just like while you're at work, just in the car. Just like leave it in there.
Get like 6 computers set up on a VPN.
I know, like from like fucking
to all of
Guam.
them. Yeah,
just listening to us. Anyways, what do we got today? What's on the docket?
Okay, so we have a pretty awesome episode, and it's from one of our VIPs, one of our rich person Patreon members.
And it's one of the OGs.
Yeah, that's right. And
He's actually our official historian.
he is the director of archives.
Yes, he is.
His
So
name
just to
is,
clarify, if you sign up for the rich person level on our Patreon, you get to pick your own episode.
That's right. And so this episode was picked by the Duke.
The Duke himself.
The Duke himself.
The
So
legend continues.
he's really great because he's listened to every episode 17 times, and so he knows all the ins and outs.
And he's
of
the master of the trivia. He knows everything.
yeah, our mistakes and our good things, our bad things, and so his selection tonight was the Vatican Library. And what is going on at the Vatican Library?
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's dive in.
So we're gonna do a quick little history, a little learning, a little learned.
A little dizzy dive.
Religious beliefs and practices have been a part of human society since ancient times, shaping cultures, laws, worldviews. The earliest known religions were polytheistic, which is basically that there are multiple gods, goddesses.
You know, they
etc.
like the Romans, the Greeks, there's obviously and even the Egyptians, multiple gods.
The Sumerians, the Babylonians, Assyrians. These are all, they had gods like Enki, Marduk, and Ishtar, and they held sway over different aspects of your life.
Yeah, it's like there's a god of agriculture, there's a god of love, there's a god of death, there's a god of life, there's a god of everything.
So there's gods, multiple gods. That's the idea.
Okay.
Multiple gods, right?
That's why it's poly,
Yes.
like poly meaning
There you
multiple,
go.
and theism meaning, in essence, religious belief.
That's right. Yeah. Also in ancient Egypt, they had gods like Ra, Osiris,
Ra, Set, Osiris, Horus. Anubis,
all the ones. This is like the sun god and the
there was a god of death. There was also a god of the underworld. There's a god of war. There's a god of love. A god of harvest.
So there was a major change in the world when when it became monotheism.
Monotheism, yeah.
Yes, and so that's essentially just one god,
a singular god,
God. Yeah. And Christianity was rooted in the teachings of Jesus Christ, and it emerged with the context of Judaism, but offered a revolutionary message of salvation, love, peace, and redemption. The life and death and resurrection of Jesus transformed a small Jewish sect into a global faith spreading throughout the Roman Empire and beyond. Christianity's emphasis on love, forgiveness, and salvation attracted followers from all different types of backgrounds. Social backgrounds from the high ups to the low downs.
It's like you could be a peasant and like
Yes,
you could still
exactly.
like, you could
Yes.
still be like somebody. You could still be important.
Yes,
It
that's
wasn't
right.
it wasn't like, the god of commerce only gives a shit about the rich guys.
Yeah. And so a major thing happened in 325 AD. So basically just imagine like the birth of Jesus and then 300 years later. And that was the Roman Empire, which was the biggest civilization of the time. They adopted Christianity under Emperor Constantine the Great. And so it became the official religion of Rome.
Yeah, which is
Roman
interesting
Empire.
because like the Romans were the ones who killed Christ, technically.
Yeah, so there's a whole story, and we're not gonna get into the whole,
We're not getting that backstory.
But I just
Once
wanted
upon
to,
a time.
I just wanted to bring this like kind of forward and go, okay, well, what has been happening, and so then, essentially that Emperor Constantine the Great decided that, and then implemented it into the Roman Empire.
Yeah, so they got rid of the Roman gods. So obviously,
That's right.
Zeus or Jupiter, they're in essence the same thing. So you get the Roman and Greek gods, which are the same exact gods, just different names. Obviously, I believe the Greeks named them after the planets, and the Romans named them their names. So like Zeus and Jupiter, Neptune and Poseidon and Venus, and Venus was the god of Aphrodite. No, was the god of love? I don't remember. But anyways, in essence, same gods, just different timeline.
Yeah. So essentially, then they created something called the Vatican Library.
Well, probably they created the Vatican.
Yeah, they created the Vatican. No, and then the Vatican Library actually was like 2 rooms. It was actually very small. It was just a couple of rooms that they
They
created.
just like put stuff. The Vatican is the epicenter, the epitome of the Catholic religion. It is where the Pope is. It is where it is. It is like the hub.
It's the Mecca.
It's the Mecca.
headquarters.
So the Vatican is in Italy, and it's in essence the Vatican itself is its own city, and it's its own in essence country.
Yeah,
it is literally it has its own law, it has its own law enforcement, it's like a whole it's a separate country.
Okay. The Vatican is the headquarters in Rome, Italy, like you were just saying. The government of the Roman Catholic Church. It's also the city-state that's ruled by the Pope, and it's considered the center of the Roman Catholic Church. Okay, got it.
perfect. Yeah, that's right. So the establishment of the Vatican Library can be traced back to the early days of Christianity. So when the church recognized the importance of preserving and disseminating knowledge, Pope Julius I's acquisition of the Lateran Palace provided a physical space for actually storing manuscripts and documents, laying the foundation of what would become the Vatican Library. So at a certain point, they were like, knowledge is important.
Well, it's almost like
we need to preserve it.
You can just imagine, the Library of Alexandria, that burned down. You can imagine the amount of like information that was stored in this place.
I was reading something, and we're definitely doing an episode on that library.
The Library of Alexandria.
Yes. Oh, there's something like 50,000 scrolls.
Oh my God, that's insane. That's just done.
Burned up. We have no idea what they were.
Literally, can you imagine the life-changing information that's in that fucking place?
It's probably like how they built the pyramids.
Literally. They were not employees.
Like the blueprints. No, like they had
the blueprints, the schematics,
of the
CAD drawings of
things like that. You know what I mean? So
The details of the aliens coming down.
well, I mean, tit for tat.
Anunnaki.
Yeah. So
Tit for tat.
Pope Nicholas V's formal establishment of the Vatican Library was in 1448. And it marked a turning point in church's commitment to scholarship and intellectual inquiry. Under his patronage, the library began to amass a vast collection of manuscripts, codices, and artifacts, drawing on resources from across Europe and the Mediterranean world. Manuscripts were meticulously copied, cataloged, preserved, and ensured to survive for future generations. So basically, it became the place where they were like, this is where everything comes.
Yeah.
And just so you know, like, codices is just plural for codex, and a codex is an ancient manuscript text in book form.
Okay.
So, you know.
Okay. So the Vatican Library's collection encompasses many different subjects: theology, philosophy, history, science, literature, and art. From ancient papyri and medieval manuscripts to Renaissance masterpieces, modern publications, the library's holdings reflect the breadth and depth of human knowledge across the planet.
Papyri just means paper, guys.
Yeah.
Just papyrus, paper. Just
Getting schooled by Sean.
I just want people to get like,
love
what
it.
the fuck does this word mean? I'm so
it. I love
confused. Like,
Among the Vatican Library's most notable holdings are its collection of ancient manuscripts. These include treasures such as the Codex Vaticanus.
Vaticanus.
And this is the
Sounds
oldest.
like a fucking spell.
This is
Vaticanus.
this is considered the oldest copies of the Greek Bible.
Oh, the Greek Bible.
Dating back to the 4th century AD. These manuscripts not only provide valuable insight into ancient languages, literature, and religious beliefs, but also serve as windows into the culture and intellectual heritage of the past civilizations.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Over the centuries, the Vatican Library has been home to countless hidden gems and rare treasures, of which the main one is that early, oldest, complete manuscript of the Greek Bible.
Yeah, like the original.
And this is considered the original text of the Bible, commonly referred to as the Codex Vaticanus.
Vaticanus, yeah.
Yeah. And it, dates back to the 4th century AD. Now, here's the interesting part about that is not everybody's allowed to see that.
Well, no shit.
They have let certain people go into it, but they're like high-end scholars and only people within the church.
Yeah, and they're probably like being just there's a dude standing right next to them. Don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
Don't fucking
touch it. Yeah,
and it's probably in like a hyper like temperature and humidity
No
controlled
oxygen.
room.
Yeah,
But because obviously, paper and oxygen is much like salt water. Like,
I mean, it's 2,000
oxygen will fucking
it's
eventually oxidize the paper and destroy it.
It's almost 2,000 years old.
Yeah, I mean that fucking shit is
18
brittle.
years old. Yeah. So, I mean, the importance of having the original is, I don't know how else to explain that. I mean, it's the original.
Yeah, it's
Bible.
it's like having the Jordan rookie card.
Yeah,
it's like it's like the first one. Yeah, it's like signed by Jesus.
I mean, I consider that more the Holy Grail than the Holy Grail.
Well, except this doesn't grant you eternal life.
Well, I mean, there's no magical. Yeah, okay.
There's no magical properties, but it's pretty legit. It's like,
but it's renowned for its exceptional quality and completeness, which contains nearly the entire Bible, the books of the Old Testament. It is considered one of the most reliable sources for biblical scholarship.
Yeah, I mean, when it's like the first one, it's like it is like the source.
Yeah. That manuscript has been housed in the Vatican Library since at least the 15th century, when it was cataloged among the library's holdings. Its exact origins and journey to the Vatican are not known.
It's like the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, but it is believed to have been copied by scribes in the Eastern Mediterranean region, possibly in Egypt or Asia Minor. So it still copies. It's still like a copy.
It is a copy, or it's been copied?
Well, it is a copy.
It's still a copy.
It is a copy,
but it's the earliest copy.
It's the earliest copy that they can find.
Yeah.
So obviously, no one has like the original, like the fucking first edition.
The dude's
like
writing.
fucking I got it.
Because also it's multiple books. You got Old Testament, New Testament, and that sort of thing.
Sure.
So yes. So in a
and I think it's also like the thing is it's not like in English. So what happens is like then you I think what happened is you get these translational differences.
Yeah, the telephone game.
So if someone's like, I think this actually means this, and it's like ancient Greek language. We're gonna
like when Clinton
that, or they put their own like spin on it, their own opinion. Like, I think he meant this.
Yeah, no, he fucking walked on that water, dog. Trust me.
like remember when Clinton said I did not have sexual relations with that woman?
He was putting his own little spin on it.
Little spin. That meant something different than what we thought.
He's like, sex is intercourse,
yes.
right?
Yes.
But her mouth is not considered sex.
Yes. Different meaning.
A completely different
telephone game.
Yeah, telephone. Yeah. Telephone. It's the telephone game.
So despite its prominence, the original has remained largely inaccessible to the public, as we mentioned, with restricted access to qualified scholars and researchers. Its presence has obviously gained conspiracy theories, which is that nobody can see it, or at least nobody without a key card.
No one is like clearance, Q clearance.
Yes. So Anyways,
I mean, I've actually been to the Vatican.
yeah,
Really?
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I did tour. It's
I bet
fucking
it's amazing,
It's
right?
grandiose as shit.
I was watching a couple documentaries and the paintings alone,
Dude,
and the wall paintings.
I mean,
the ceiling
there's
paintings.
more marble than
It's
you could ever
incredible.
fucking fathom. The whole goddamn
Honestly.
thing is marble.
I was watching it and I was spiritually like,
How'd
that's
you
incredible.
feel when you were in there?
Dude, it was wild. So when I went, I had I just finished reading the second Da Vinci Code book, and so like I went,
Inferno or something.
no, that's the one, Angels and Demons.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so like in there, I went to some of the sites. There's one of the things in the book, and even in the movie, is the West Wind. That's where West Ponente. Yeah. And so I went to that thing which is in the Vatican Square in the front, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" I touched it. I was like, "Part of the book." And then, but when you go in, it's wild. But dude, there's all these like fucking secret passages and shit.
Yeah.
So like you look through the floor, and there'll be these grates in the floor, little like almost like imagine like a storm drain, but it's see through, and it's like grates
Inside.
and you can see motherfuckers are like walking. There's like they're walking through tunnels, and then you'll see like clergy and nuns, and they'll just like, go into what looks like a wall, but then then they disappear, and I'm like, holy shit! So it's my point by that is it's super expansive, and it's like
built on top of building on top of
yeah,
a
it's like
building
there's the catacombs isn't the right word, but there's a whole like system there's layers and layers that you don't see, and like what you see is it's wow, but there's so much more to it that you have no idea. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's secrets. I'm just saying it could be like living quarters. They're like that's what they're fucking birth they live down there. So, but it's fucking dude. It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was amazing. Like it was like
holy shit. Some of the artwork is just mind blowing. Like you have to be up on a ladder for months.
Oh, dude,
and doing something that I could never even do it. I could never even, And it's
I can barely like
beautifully
write
put together
in English.
Yeah, ugh. That scene with Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting, where he's on the bench with Matt Damon.
Oh, dude.
And he's like, fuck you. You haven't looked up at Michelangelo's
exactly. There's like fucking
Sistine
Chapel.
Yeah. It's amazing. So in addition to the ancient manuscripts, the Vatican Library houses an extensive collection of medieval texts, including illuminated manuscripts, theological treatises, letters between governments, letters between clergymen, just a never-ending
like Pope's
treasure
letters,
trove.
like
Yes, treasure trove of knowledge, of culture, truthfully, it's like what you just said about the Library of Alexandria. It's what we have now because we don't have that.
No, but there's got to be so much there's so much information, like just shit, like just random, like crazy shit that you can only fathom is in.
Right.
But you think it hasn't been like disseminated out there, and like you think it's just only there?
I mean, I think this is probably the largest collection of ancient information that exists on Earth.
I agree,
and some of it is only there.
I agree.
I think
they also don't even have the manpower.
I mean, they probably
do anything.
Well, they probably don't even. They probably haven't even translated all this shit.
Yes.
Like, there's probably so much shit that they have no way. Like, they don't even know what's there.
So imagine 100,000 scrolls in a different language.
That's wild.
That nobody speaks now.
Yeah.
But maybe
they
four guys.
There's
four guys.
Historians in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I just think it's incredible. So, the Renaissance period of Europe marked a golden age for the Vatican Library as popes and scholars alike sought to revive the classical learning and culture. And so the Pope Sixtus the Fourth's patronage of the arts and humanities led to the expansion of the collection even further. So just imagine all of a sudden we move into an art age and a Renaissance age and higher learning through artistic, actions. So then they opened up the library even more to not just being scholar information, but
art and
poetry and
whatever
you considered to be of value. And so it just kept building and building and building and building.
Yep.
So the Vatican Library is overseen by the prefect of the Vatican Library and Secret Archives. And it's called
Secret Archives. I
no,
love
and it's
it.
called the Secret Archives.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, it's
They
called
have
the Secret Archives. This is fucking
yeah, they have
amazing.
no qualms about calling it the
They're
Secret
like,
Archives.
it's fucking secret. Like it's not a secret. It's secret.
So they're responsible for its administration and management. The prefect appointed by the Pope works closely with a team of librarians, archivists, and scholars to preserve and maintain the collection. Librarians play a crucial role in cataloging, preserving, and digitizing those library holdings. But again, it's about translations and digitizing and long-term preservation. And it turns into actually a nightmare project.
Oh, dude, can you imagine? Like, what if they have like ancient Sumerian text? Like, no one really fucking knows knows that language,
right?
They don't fucking know what it's saying.
No, there's like one dude.
I know, and he's like, I think it means this. I don't really know.
Also, like, I have like 6 weeks vacay right now, and I can't do this. Right
yeah, like fuck no. Like, how much am I getting paid for this?
No. And even if he does know, like, I'm sure, like the handwriting, you got to like decipher that too.
My God.
Like,
you're like, is that an L? What is that?
Oh my God. One of the most enduring conspiracy theories surrounding the Vatican Library is the existence of secret archives containing forbidden texts and suppressed knowledge. According to legend, these archives are said to house documents that could challenge the established religious doctrines, revealing hidden truths about historical events, or even containing evidence of extraterrestrial life. While the Vatican has acknowledged the existence of the secret archives, which primarily contain historical documents, there's nothing further about that.
So they don't deny or confirm the extraterrestrial.
Like, no,
but
it's like,
they confirm that
we got shit.
They confirm that there's something called the secret archives. Yeah.
I mean, if it's a secret archive, that's probably about all I'd say, too.
Yeah.
That's probably about all you can say.
There is a little history of the secret archives, and it's known as Archivium Secretum Apostolicum Vaticanum in Latin. This is
fucking Latin. God damn it! They always do this with Latin.
I really butchered that.
Hey, what is? Let me see.
Yeah. See if you can go with that. Yeah.
I apologize for them on behalf of them.
I took Latin in 8th grade, so it is the Archivum Secretum Apostolicum Vaticanum. So it's like the secret archive, of the apostles of the Vatican, something like that. Yeah.
It's definitely where J.K. Rowling got all of her spells.
So literally that, and it's also like Tom Hanks is trapped in there.
Yeah. But it's a long and storied history, and it dates back to the 17th century. It was established by Pope Paul V in 1612. They were intended to store sensitive documents related to the governance of the church. Contrary to popular belief, the term secret in this context does not imply hiding or secrecy, but refers to being private.
Okay.
Private docs.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Compared to secret docs.
Yeah, it's like not on the it's not on the OneDrive.
Yeah.
It's like fucking.
But again, it almost seems like translation error.
Well, it's also like Latin is like very it's like
secret to private.
Like if you look up like the word secret, it probably does just mean private.
Yes. But they have everything that you could imagine, like the bills.
Yeah, like the fucking power bill.
Do you know what I mean? Like what the church is paying, or taxes,
like
or
food
this
costs.
or that. You know, it's everything. So it's
the church isn't paying taxes. So.
Now, of course, this is what the church is saying. Of course, so we'll take that with
a grain of salt.
Yeah, what it is, but it's the private stuff of their activities.
Totally.
Okay, good. Yeah. The secret archives also house materials of broader historical interest, such as correspondence between the monarchs and between the monarchs and the statesmen and the intellectuals and the government people, and the royalty.
Well, did you guys imagine, so back in the day, there was a point in time where the Catholic Church pretty much ran the world.
I know.
When the Spanish were pretty much ruled the world under the conquistadors, So pretty much the Spanish government and the Spanish fleet would go and conquer, and they would dump all the money into the church. So that's why you see the old churches and the old shit's all fucking crazy grandiose, gold, everything's fucking gold, solid gold fucking organs and shit. It's because they just dumped all the money into it. So the church, while there was the king of Spain and he was the king, the church was superior. It was senior to like even the monarchy.
Yeah.
They were, hey, if the Pope was, listen, fuckface, like this is what you're doing, he'd be like, yes, sir, Your Holiness, fucking we're gonna get it done. Yeah. So they were at one point, it was an extremely powerful organization in terms of they could change. They could change the course of the earth,
right?
Like despite with the correspondence with the king. Hey, man, I don't think you should do this, and he'd be like, "Done.
We disapprove."
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, there's dirty laundry.
Oh, for sure, there always is. Yeah.
Because we've talked about this a lot, where it's somebody does something bad, it doesn't necessarily mean the religion's bad.
No, of course, there's individuals. Like obviously, there's.
But you're gonna have letters of say somebody doing something horrible.
Dude, of course. Well, obviously, within anything, it's just like, you have a corporation and there's like one asshole on there who does some shady shit.
Somebody embezzling or some shit. Like doesn't mean the whole
doesn't
company.
mean the company sucks. It just means sometimes there's asshole people.
Despite its name, access was given a couple times. So in 1881, Pope Leo XIII opened the archives to what he considered qualified researchers. In 2010, Pope Benedict XVI further expanded access by digitizing selected documents and making them available online. Now,
like the books,
it's very redacted. It's kind of like the president releasing JFK files, but redacting.
Yeah, but it's but you don't see anything. It just says JFK
black
files.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess what they're trying to say is that every 100 years or so,
there's a release.
They let people in, but it's so big that where are you gonna?
And how are you gonna even understand all that?
So play out this scenario. So say us three are determined
to get in the Vatican,
qualified researchers.
Yeah,
and they say, okay, we're gonna open up your doors. Let's say there are 100,000 documents.
Where do you even
begin?
6 days.
And they're like, none of it's in English.
Yeah.
And then we're like, fuck.
I'd be like, you grab A, I'll grab D.
I know, right?
You know what I mean?
You don't even know what to do.
So
what do you even do?
I know, it's so much. So, despite these efforts at transparency, the misconceptions and speculation persisted. And some conspiracy theorists claim that archives contain evidence of secret societies, pieces of the Bible that they don't want anybody to know. But of course, there's no way to know. We still don't have. But
here's the thing too. It's like just on that one point of they're like, hey, we'll let you in. I mean, there's no 100% given that they're just gonna they could just take the other shit out. They could just move it to hey, what's storage room B, and then they're like, it's all yours.
What's in wing X?
And they're like, what are you talking about?
It's locked.
We don't have that.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
But there's no way to know. That's just obviously no way to know.
Either side of it.
No, of course. It's all who fucking knows.
It's a problem.
I'm not the Pope.
So another theory suggests that the Vatican Library holds ancient texts and manuscripts that were intentionally excluded from you call it canon Bible.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What is that?
Canon means pure, it comes from comics. When say they make a movie, a Spider-Man movie or something, if it's canon, it means it's exactly as the comics had done it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's an example. This is a nerd example. Are you ready?
I just gave a nerd
example.
He just gave, what are you talking about?
He's going to get even more nerdy. Okay.
I'm going to go a little nerdier. Okay, so Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the movie
Which
is
one?
source material.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
All 9. Yeah. They're all from Lucasfilms, la la la.
Yeah.
Then the animated series that they made from Disney is also canon.
It's canon. I mean,
because it was made by Lucasfilms.
Okay.
Yeah.
And George Lucas created the story.
Now, I don't know if you know this. There are about 100 Star Wars books.
Oh yeah, I know that.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
And they're dubbed non-canon.
Because they weren't written by George Lucas.
That's right. Does that make sense?
So George Lucas he created the concept, he created the story, therefore it's canon.
Yeah. And only if it was published by the original would it be considered canon and part of the timeline.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
All right, nerds. Let's get back to
it. Okay, Jorge.
And just one last example is that in one of them, Chewbacca dies in a book, right? But he didn't die in the movies. So it's not part of canon.
Well, see, the books also depict storylines outside of the timeline. That they happen in. So it's like
exactly. So the idea here, the theory is.
Wait, what about the new like Disney ones that they recently came out with?
They're terrible. They're the worst movies.
Oh, I know, but are they canon?
Yeah, they are because they're from the ownership.
Oh yeah,
they're from the ownership, but George Lucas wasn't involved in them.
I know.
So I don't think they are.
But see, it's debatable. See, this is what we're talking about.
I don't consider them canon because they were so fucking dog shit. Like, let's be honest, they were dog shit.
He's not wrong.
They were absolute
they were
trash.
Yeah.
And I literally the entire I spent 2 hours during and then 2 hours after the movie just complaining about everything that was wrong with it. It was fucking terrible.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
But so the idea behind this is that things were excluded from what we know of the storyline of the Bible. So like let's just imagine, let's say Jesus went on to have other kids.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. That's not in the Bible we know today.
So like if they see that's what I was gonna say is like, let's say hypothetically they find these older texts.
Yes.
You know, Christianity's already like crushing it. You know, second biggest religion on the planet. They're fucking like, we're doing good things. People are happy, saving lives. And then you get some
second. I thought you said it was third.
No, this is second. The biggest one's Muslim, and then
I thought you said
Catholicism.
Yeah.
Catholicism and Christianity.
You're counting all the same. Anyways,
they're two sides of the same coin in essence.
Okay.
It's just slightly. It's
so you're saying what would happen if?
So I'm saying it's not like what would happen is like it's crushing it, and then you find some you discover these older texts, and it's like it's off, and you're not just gonna be like, hey guys, we know
I know.
That's
a good question.
Like what do you think? Like from their perspective, are they thinking with like, okay, is it the greater good to like not ruin like what we started?
Beliefs? Yeah.
Like I'm not saying it's right or wrong because like that's not for me to decide. Like, I'm not like.
But that would definitely like take a spin in that in the wrong direction.
Oh, for sure. Like ruin, destroy the religion as a whole.
Yeah.
Or just like put it in the secret archives.
See,
I guess it depends on how big of a thing it is.
Well, I know how big,
like,
how different is it?
Like, what would it, let's take a
I would
mundane
actually argue
one.
that any difference would still like.
But let's take a mundane
Because then they
one.
would be like, oh, so what?
You've
else?
been lying this whole time?
Everybody would question everything.
Let's take a mundane one. A mundane thing.
Like,
Question.
let's say he turned water into like apple juice.
No. Let's say he's like let's say he smokes cigarettes.
He's like smoking. He's like, fuck.
Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't change. No. I'm saying it doesn't change your belief structure.
No, but
it doesn't change what he did as a great man. And
No, but-
you know what I mean.
but also, like-
he just smokes cigarettes.
No, but think of it Think of it like from a logistics standpoint too. Like you can imagine how many millions upon billions of Bibles are in production. Imagine having to like recall all of them. Shit, we gotta change page 64.
That's insane.
Like, dude, it was so like
that's true.
So inefficient.
Just basic
like,
practicality.
And it's just like cost effectiveness of like we gotta reprint all these fucking. God damn it!
And every
it's a
time
logistics nightmare.
Every time you do a reprint, you get less like people going. You know what? I don't believe you.
I'm not gonna buy one.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Like, yeah, imagine having like my Toyota, get like a Toyota recall on like, oh, well, your suspension system's kind of fucked, so I gotta like change it out. You imagine getting that call?
Interesting.
You're like, what?
That's an interesting point. Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Corinthians is gotta go. Yeah. We gotta take it out
because it's a break in trust. You know,
it is.
And no matter what it is, it's just you're gonna break that.
Yeah, you've been living your entire life like on this, and they're like. Yeah,
can you imagine that you're in that council and you have to make those choices of everything?
It's way too much responsibility for me.
You know what I mean?
I think it's an easy choice. Like you got to keep it in the secret.
No, I know, but then,
or it's like don't say shit.
But then, are you mad that you're hiding the truth?
Yeah.
Meaning, like, okay, let's say so. Let's just take I'm going to go even more mundane than smoking cigarettes.
More nerdy?
No, more like simple.
Yeah,
like,
like irrelevant.
Maybe. Because he was crucified, right? So what if, just a small part of that story was wrong?
Mm-hmm. Like he didn't carry his own cross.
Yes.
Like they said, like he carried the cross. Maybe
maybe
they was like they had it on like a fucking horse was dragging it or something.
And it was everything else was the same. all the great things he did were the same. The story of all the Bible was the same, but it was just that was different.
I still think,
doesn't.
Well, no, but the thing is, like that would Jorge was saying, it would instantly. It's like
Put
in
a
court.
doubt.
Like you go in court. The whole point is to prove reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
You do that, then there's like people are like, well, what else is different? Like if that was,
yeah,
but
I see
what
your
else
theory,
is different?
though. I see your theory.
I get it.
But anything
because Jesus Christ, the man, didn't, or he did all those great things. And so,
but it brings
you know what I mean?
it brings a little doubt. It brings like a little crumb.
It brings it down a peg.
No, it's like Inception.
Yeah.
It's Inception. It's like if you could just put that little thought in there, then you're gonna be like, wait, what the fuck? And then it could cause like this whole like fucking like
ripple effect of like everything else. Yeah.
And then everyone starts to be
That's
like,
interesting.
Yeah.
So I mean, so what they call it is the lost gospels. The lost gospels. So,
okay.
So like there were other writings about the life of Jesus that were not included.
But what if he was doing like way more gangster shit? Like what if he slayed dragons or like I don't know. What if there was some fucking super awesome fucking legendary shit?
So and we could get into like
How much more legendary can you get?
I know, but I'm saying like what if it was like he was like
right?
Of all the
What
guys.
if it came back?
What if he was like from Krypton and he was like fucking Superman, like literally like invincible?
I mean, homie's like top 5 goat.
I know. I mean,
Top
he's like
five?
Top 5.
He was easy go to the time.
Of all
He was
time?
definitely go to the time.
Of all time, he's got to be put in there somewhere.
Top 5
He is the goat.
He is the goat. He's
Not the
He
top
was the
5
original
goat.
goat.
You don't have 5 goats.
Top 5 goat. Top 5
true.
goat.
It's
They're like, all right, it's like MJ, Jesus, Brady.
But I mean, so the idea is because then when we could study this further, and but I don't know. It's part of the whole lost gospel thing because there's the gospel of Mary Magdalene and the gospel of Thomas that are not necessarily that are known about and they're studied, but they're not necessarily a part of what we know today as the Bible. You know what I mean? So these are lost gospels and lost writings of the life of Jesus Christ.
And see what I think had happened too, and I think probably what the Catholic Church is probably keeps it secret because I think look what happened already. Like look at how there's 80 or 90 different sects of, in essence, virtually the same exact religion, but slightly different because different translations and people thought things were different. And so they were like, no, like this is what I thought it meant. And they're like, no, well, this is what I thought it meant. And then
it's like opinionated.
So then you add another thing in it and just like, it'll just continue to spiderweb out. And then
maybe they saw that that's what was happening.
It would just dilute, like everything's just going to keep getting diluted and dilute.
You think that
the telephone game happened so many times, and then there were so many sects of it that,
and then it's going to keep changing. They're like, fuck, if we like say some
so
shit
let's
now,
lock
it's
it
gonna
down.
Like,
Lock it down.
Like this is it. This is the truth. This is what it is.
The Pope's like, let's create the secret archives.
Fuck it, stash
and
it away.
Lock it down.
Well, you think like
interesting.
My thing is like, but if that is the truth, like, it's so weird how you think they would just like destroy it.
Oh, like burn
but you can't. I feel like they can't. Like fuck, it's so important.
There's
like
so
you can't, but we gotta keep it. But like shit,
No, you can't
that's gotta be chalked up to they're so passionate about it.
Oh, of course, dude, you dedicate
You know what I mean?
you dedicate
And you're
your
like,
life to something. Like,
even if this is gonna ruin everything, I'm not gonna burn this.
No.
Yeah, I'm not gonna burn it. I'm just gonna put it in
secret archive.
Yeah, door X.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like the fucking vibranium.
Yeah. Another theory poses that the Vatican Library harbors hidden knowledge or esoteric teachings that could challenge established religious beliefs and reveal suppressed truths about the origins of Christianity, as well as technology that could kind of.
Yeah, there's.
I mean, it has to do with okay, like the Egyptians have different gods, and maybe the gods taught them certain things. And then that would kind of kick
it would cause
the god.
It would cause speculation on the mono god thing. But like maybe it's not even like they just probably thought they were God. What if they were aliens and they got the tech from aliens? But then it would still throw into question the one God system because is that God the God of the alien too? Yes. And it could cause things. There's also like they think that ancient like the Atlantean shit is in there and they have like fucking tech. But then I think about that, but I'm like. Wouldn't they like be using that tech though too? I mean, if I wasn't there, I'd be like, let's just try to build something. Let's just see what we can do.
Well, I think the argument though is that if there are beings that are more powerful than the God described in the Bible.
Well, I mean, obviously, the God described in the Bible is all powerful.
Yeah.
So,
that's what I mean.
It's
There's
like,
no more powerful.
No, I know, but I mean, I'm saying like in the library, if they have proof that
I think
that
if
there's a God that can come down and
yeah, like actually, he's chilling,
turn the sun off
in body form, like bitch.
Yeah. So that's I think that's the concept of this,
of course.
But
obviously,
you know where I stand on that. I mean.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
This episode is brought to you by ShipStation. If you run an e-commerce business, you know how much work it takes to produce something great while dealing with complicated shipping issues. That's why over 130,000 companies have turned to ShipStation, an innovative tool that allows you to focus less on shipping and more on building your brand. With ShipStation, you can manage orders, label printing, reporting, and customer service on one easy-to-use dashboard. You'll reduce warehouse costs with reliable enterprise solutions and save thousands on shipping costs with discounts up to 89% off. Plus, you can effortlessly import orders from everywhere you sell online. So, turn your shipping challenges into opportunities for growth. Go to ShipStation.com and use code POD to sign up for your free 60-day trial. That's ShipStation.com, code POD.
Well, Eric's like, just the ingenuity of man. It's like fucking, you give guys a good salary and good bennies, they'll build you anything. They'll build you fucking pyramids.
If you believe in them.
I know. Eric's like, good management. That's what built the pyramids.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's an interesting concept to take up, which is that what amount of change affects anything, and then who decides who to suppress what.
Mm-hmm. And it's, you know what I mean? I feel like the more people involved, the greater that decision becomes more difficult.
Yeah.
Because if it was like 10 people, you're like, oh, oopsie daisy, little change. Like, no big deal. And they're like, oh, okay, fuck it. But it was like a billion people, you're like, you change one thing, like
or more.
Dude, what if you change one thing, and what if like 200 million people are like, yeah, you betrayed us. Right. You betrayed me. I like our whole last 10 generations have lived their life this way.
Yeah.
Like, Now, just as a disclaimer to everybody, we're not scholars of religion.
No, we're not theologists.
Yes.
We are not theosophers. We're none of that shit.
But I guess
we're just bullshitters on a conspiracy podcast.
We're just trying to figure shit out.
But I do want to ask: do you subscribe to, should this be determined by a person?
I mean, it has to be
or a
now.
council. A council?
Oh, okay.
A democratic
you're saying one
committee?
or multiple?
Well, because the way they have it set up is by a pope.
Well, yeah, the pope is the supreme. He's like the supreme decision maker.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's the Council of Cardinals. There's all the main cardinals who I'm sure are involved
do you like that
in that
system,
decision.
or do you think it should be?
Well, I think I like the pope system.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
I think that
I don't think that one person, or I don't think that a group of people are going to make it's
a little bit crazy.
It's going to be so hard to come up with.
So many votes.
So yeah, it's going to be hard to come up with the right decision.
Yeah, it's like Congress.
They're going to skew towards the wrong decision. Yeah, it's like,
and also it's like the more people involved, and it's like who's on the take,
and then well, I guess
you have human error.
I
mean, that's the thing.
Well, you can get bought out too.
But that even happens with the Pope.
Like, what if? Why are they getting bought out? They're in full dedication.
No, I'm not.
There's so much probably like.
I'm not saying about money,
like hidden interest behind the.
Bought out as in.
Yeah,
I'm saying
you
politicians.
You get the penthouse,
like politicians,
not necessarily the money, but you get the nice car spot.
Within that type of system, there's probably a lot of politics going on because there is when you're like a cardinal, that's a very high position of power. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of say so. There's a lot of people that you're responsible for. I feel like there is a lot of minutia that's going on in order to get into that position. You got to have people that got your back, and you got to owe favors.
Kind of like politics.
It is like politics, but on a different note, because I don't think there's really the monetary portion of it.
They have a religious purpose.
Yeah, they're all,
right in a good way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's like the monetary thing. It's like, hey, I'm gonna like deposit this in your Venmo account.
Yeah,
it's like. But I think there is still like like there is a lot of politics involved with. Because it's super, like, there are 1 billion people. Right. 1 billion people that are looking up to you. You know, it's not like America. It's not like America. It's like 300 million. It's 1 billion.
It's more like a power thing instead of a monetary
Exactly.
thing.
It's a power. Yeah. It's a power thing.
Yeah. Because they don't need money, right?
Well, no, because they're all getting. You're in the government. It's like government's paying for it. Like, you know, like you're in the military. It's like you're on the. Yeah. If you're at war, it's not like you're paying for food.
I don't know the ins and outs of living the life of clergy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
same.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Well, another theory is the Templar treasures.
Ooh, I love this one, bro.
So, if you don't know much about the Knights Templar, do you know much? Much about the Knights Templar?
School of Crusaders, baby.
Yeah, these are basically knights who are of a religious order compared to a country devotion.
So the Knights Templar are the original like zealots.
Yeah.
So a zealot being, I know it has like a bad connotation, but a zealot is someone who's hyper fanatical about religious belief to the point of happily willing to die for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the Knights Templar there was the Crusades, there was the religious Crusades, which is literally fucking a holy war, religious war.
Yeah.
Over that shit. But the Knights Templar are considered to be
it's called the medieval Christian military order.
Yeah, they were like the sword arm of the church.
Yeah.
Okay.
So according to some accounts, the Templars amassed vast wealth through conquering.
Yeah, they did. They fucking just
and treasures during their time in the Holy Land, which they were either hidden or smuggled into the Vatican.
It's even thought that the Knights Templar got the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, yeah. So in the 14th century, the Knights Templar was dissolved. So it was basically before all of that, they smuggled everything in, and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna be
You're
dissolved,
done. Yeah,
and
we can't kill people anymore, so we gotta like cut that out."
Yeah. So some say that they speculate that these treasures, including priceless artifacts, art, ancient relics, religious relics, and the Vatican now possesses them in the library or in the Vatican vaults, which are adjacent to the library.
Next door.
Yeah, exactly. These treasures included gold, silver, gems, and all sorts of other religious relics. You know, it kind of just depends. Like some say, there's fragments of the cross that Jesus was crucified on, and that is an ancient, invaluable.
And there's
relic.
even like speculation on the spear that fucking that stabbed Jesus, and all these really super significant pieces of like history.
Yeah. So following the suppression of the Templars by King Philip IV of France and Pope Clement V in the early 14th century, rumors started to kind of build basically because they were like, get rid of the Templars because they found something.
It's either because they found something or they got too powerful.
Yeah. They were ruthless and
fucking
slaughtering people.
Yeah, what are you going to do? They're
continents,
like, you're like, hey, fuck you. They're like, what?
But the overall idea is that they basically just brought that stuff to the Vatican.
Yeah, they dissolved them. They're like, give us your shit.
Yeah. And
give us your booty.
And they were like, disband or we'll kill you. And everybody's gone. But then now they have the treasures.
Well, isn't there also like a little? I think we might have went over this in the Freemasons episode, like a tie between the Freemasons and the Knights Templar, and like
symbology and kind of
all that stuff that who knows? I mean, we don't know, but like,
ancient relatives, kind of, down the line.
Yeah, whatever.
So okay, so and then the last couple theories of this is one is that there's ancient tech. And this is very much,
What do you mean by tech?
Well, that they found ancient astronauts and, all the tech that was involved, and they just brought it to the Vatican.
Dude, could you fucking imagine? Like,
Do you know what I mean? Okay, just imagine.
So
now we have governments in every country, and it's not a royal family. It's not a.
Well, there's still a few. There's like six monarchs left.
Yeah, but they're like kind of like they have no power.
Well,
you know
and some there's like
I know, but
a couple left.
You know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like
for the most
the
part.
point, right? Yeah. But so back then, it was the church. For about 400 or 500 years, it was mainly the church as the overall writing.
And the church ruled multiple countries too.
Yes, exactly.
France,
Yes,
England,
exactly. Yeah.
fucking Spain,
Yeah.
like all this.
So the idea is that there were ancient astronauts because in your guys' theories, they'd like to come down all the time. And they came down
Eric.
and all that tech, the ship, the suit, the body, etc., was just brought to the Vatican.
I'm not saying they come down all the time, but like if you could have,
So they got a ship in there.
Do you imagine you're walking like, don't look to your left, nothing to see here.
What is that massive thing with a big blanket over it? Nothing. Nothing.
Didn't see anything.
Yeah, nothing.
I don't think they have a fucking ship down there, but can you imagine though?
But
like,
you could
being
have
in like
documents.
being in the Knights Templar, like back in the history, you're like fucking sweating, like fucking haven't took a shower in the weeks, and you're like walking around the Middle East, and like all of a sudden you're like, the fuck is that silver thing over there? Let's walk over there, boys. Let's get our swords out. It's like a fucking spaceship. And you're like, how the fuck are we gonna get this thing out of here?
So hear it out. So you're riding a donkey across northern Africa, of which it's the land of the Roman Empire is in charge of that land, and you come across a crashed ship with an alien in it.
It's like a little homie in it.
Yeah, crashed ship with an alien in it, and
The
you're
old
like,
school Area 51.
yeah, and you're like, what the fuck is this? And then so you strap this alien.
They're like,
on
what
your
is
back.
this aluminum foil? What is this?
Yeah, and you get a gun.
This sounds like Independence Day, Will Smith.
Yeah.
But, okay.
it sounds like Men in Black.
Don't you know that most of my content is like 90s pop culture?
That's what I was like.
No.
Hear me out.
So you throw this alien on the back of your camel, and you find a gun, and you find like a motherboard that's from the ship, and a bunch of shit.
You imagine like finding a gun, and you like press the trigger, and like blow up your homie. Like, what is this shit?
And then you have to take the 7-week journey back to Rome.
Like
7 weeks. Right? And then you pull up and
the alien's all like fucking like it's all like it's like degrading and decomposed.
Yeah.
Smells. We're
And
like,
you pull
what
up,
is this?
You pull up to the Vatican and you're like, what's up, Pope?
He's
And
like,
Look what I found.
come inside.
I know, it's like send him downstairs.
And so he found
Secret
he
archives.
found something that completely changes the history of mankind. And then so the Pope or whoever, the Cardinal or whatever, they say just come on in, put it in the Vatican, keep it on the hush hush.
Well, I mean, it does make sense.
Yeah.
It's like look what happened like with obviously what the government's releasing to us now. Like all the like I'm just saying like this like 6-70 years later, they're like, okay. Maybe we were seeing shit. I don't know, like whoopsie daisies.
Just saying.
Yeah, they're like, just saying, like, but like, can you imagine? It's it's a catch-22. Like, while I am all for full transparency, I'm all for it. I love it. I want it because I personally, just me, I can handle it. But can the world handle that?
Yeah.
Especially, in the 1500s. Do you really think the world could have like had like you get like
maybe not then
a scribe comes and then you get like a letter and they're like,
now
we found Smelgraham and Scrollgrave thingies and giant like.
But again,
chaos.
now they can. But if they come out with this now, then it's like, well, what else you got?
Oh
in
yeah,
there?
you lied.
What else
you
can I
lied to us
trust?
No, you got to keep the lie going forever.
Yeah,
the lie's got to persist.
But
and also you
gonna-
die.
Who? What?
Like like you said, you lie, and then you're like, I'm gonna die soon. So
yeah, fuck it. Like, what
literally 700 years.
I know. And then you go to like,
fuck it. I didn't have anything to do
It's
with
like the guy you've been training for 20 years. You're like, your problem now, bitch.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Peace.
Exactly.
I was gonna say that the chances of that coming out, it would have come out, but but the passion that everybody
It's
at the Vatican,
it's so passionate.
yeah. Like
it's like your life's
they're not
work.
letting it
It's
out.
like your whole entire life has been devoted to this thing. Most of these guys have, they've been in the church since they were like 15.
True.
It's like, and you're like 70 now.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not gonna fucking ruin it now.
Right.
Fuck
Right.
you.
True.
Like there's no way I'm gonna ruin this because in the grand scheme, religion as a whole in all of its forms is actually a good thing for the planet.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It gives people a reason to be good people. It gives them a reason to strive to be better than what they are.
Yeah, I like that.
So like religion as
hope.
Religion as a whole is actually
hope.
It's necessary for our lives.
Yeah.
So like I can see where they're coming from being like, do we really ruin that?
Yeah.
To disclose some new shit? Is it worth ruining this good thing? Like chaos is gonna ensue. It's like fuck that.
There's nothing worse than a man or a woman with no hope.
Yeah.
Isn't that scary?
You know what? It's like what's that movie where like you get the one day and kill everyone, do it
Oh
all.
yeah, Purge.
It's like the Purge. It literally Earth becomes Purge.
Fuck.
Yes.
I won't even watch those. I hate that.
I don't like them.
I hate
at
that
all.
concept. Yeah. Fuck you guys.
This is why me and Jorge have guns.
Yeah, seriously.
So
Eric's
Sean,
fucked.
Eric will come over to our house.
Like, what are you again?
I got a bunch of knives.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
You're fucking
I'm coming
dead.
at you with
You're
them.
literally dead. A bunch of kitchen knives that aren't even sharp.
So I have a couple of things that are just crazy kind of anecdotal stories about the Vatican Library and that I thought were cool.
Sure.
And so I thought we would throw this in here.
Little
And
ad.
then we'll kind of wrap up and kind of see where we're at. Yeah? Okay. The first one is a legend. The legend has it that there's a secret passage connecting the Vatican Library to Castel Sant'Angelo, a fortress that's located nearby. The passage was allegedly used by Pope Clement VII to escape safety during the sack of Rome in 1527. While the existence of such a passage has never been conclusively proven,
because you don't have access, like duh.
It adds an element of intrigue that there are secret passageways from the Vatican Library out.
Dude, there's 100%. Like, dude,
you're on board with that.
Well, just go to the Vatican and look down. Those motherfuckers you watch them walk through it. They're not hiding it. They're not hiding it at all. That's in plain sight.
In 1612, the Vatican Library suffered a major loss when a significant portion of the collection was stolen by a former librarian.
Dude, what a G!
Named Siracus of Ancona. Siracus, who had been dismissed from his position, smuggled out hundreds of valuable manuscripts and sold them to collectors across Europe.
Holy shit.
It wasn't until years later that some of these manuscripts were recovered, but nearly half of them remain missing to
Dude,
this
can you
day.
imagine that guy? They're like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just doing the laundry. He's just like wheeling out like a giant
This is what rich folks spend their money on.
And these are like the billionaires. They're like,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
If I was a billionaire, I would definitely buy one of those.
Oh, dude, 100%.
Yeah, like, hey, come down, check out my own Vatican Library downstairs.
And then you go into a cigar room, he hits like a little button and it's like opens up. He's like, you want to see some shit?
Yeah.
Look at this.
This is
His own little vault.
Yeah, this is Jesus' journal.
I know, like literally, this is Jesus' pinky. Like, I'll let you put.
Okay, another one is called one of the most famous incidents involving the Vatican Library occurred in the early 17th century when astronomer known as Galileo was banned.
An astronomer known as one of the most famous humans who's ever lived. Like, what the fuck?
Was banned from using the library. Galileo's support for the heliocentric model of the solar system, which contradicted the geocentric model supported by the Catholic Church.
What that means is that the Catholic Church used to think that Earth was the center of the universe.
That's right.
And he's like, well, technically, there's this like giant sun thing that we're like kind of like going around. So that's what they were like.
So he was banned from the library.
A lot of scientists were, at that time, they were considered heretics.
Yeah.
Because they...
Considered what?
Heretics. A heretic is someone who's saying things, like they're saying false truths about things.
Against the church.
But see, at the time, like, those things were perceived as a slight against the faith.
Yeah.
Even though it was just like, hey, we're just like perceiving like what's happening right now in the world. It's not like anything against religion. It's just what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways.
But it's crazy. It's just a crazy story. It's one of the more famous stories that Galileo was banned from the library.
Like the fuck
because he was dealing with science.
He was just looking. He was just
challenged it.
but he was taking science and then he was saying, and they were like, you're out.
There's no place for science in the religion.
Yes,
Get the fuck out of hell.
During World War II, the Allied forces advanced on Rome. Concerns arose about the safety of the Vatican Library. In a remarkable effort to protect the library's treasures, Vatican librarians and volunteers worked tirelessly to pack up thousands of manuscripts, and they transported them safely into Vatican City. Despite the chaos of war, the library's collection survived mainly intact, thanks to the dedication of hundreds of people.
I would have loved to be
from moving it from the library to Vatican
I've been
City.
moving that into my apartment.
Yeah. Anyways, these are just anecdotal stories of cool stuff about the Vatican Library. So there you go, guys. Vatican Library.
That's a cool one.
Yeah.
Who's going first?
Yeah.
I'll go first. I definitely think that there is shit in there that would change.
Is there a scandal paper?
Yeah,
there's a smoking gun one. Like, holy shit!
Like Jesus had an iPhone.
Yes.
I've been kind of saying it throughout the episode where I think that if anything came out, then it would be just like a.
It'd be cataclysmic.
It actually would. Like I would think that they think that anything that comes out of there that changes anything in the historical record that everybody's known up until now would result in like some sort of fucking, like
upheaval,
world war,
just anarchy,
like an anarchy. Like everybody would just, what's the word I'm looking for?
Go to shit. Like everything would.
Everything would just go to shit. Nobody would believe in any religion after that. Like everybody would question everything. And then back to Sean's point, religion is key as like a stable point for society that without religion, then now
it'd be
forget
fucking
about it.
Shit show.
The world is just
like the world without religion is like complete madness.
At least I would think that that's what they think, and then that's why they're like, I'm not releasing anything at all. But I do think that there's some.
So you're thinking their intentions are good, whether it's a wrong choice or not?
Yes, 100%.
Maybe it's a right choice. We don't know because we don't know what's.
We don't know what's in there.
I don't think it's the right choice. I think that they should release it because I think the right choice is like
to be truthful.
Let people. It's kind of like what we always talk about. Like let people think for themselves and like let them make for themselves or whatever. Like not let the government or the church or anybody think for you.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay,
I agree with Jorge because it's like it is a thing. I don't necessarily know if it's. We might not think it's alien, but I definitely think there is evidence of a technology that has ceased to exist. Because obviously, if we look in the past and what was able to be done, there is a technology that had to be available in order for certain things to happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
we'll get into
it's
that
like
in another episode.
I mean, if you think about,
I know what you're talking about, buddy. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So, anyways, I think that they did obviously think like, hey, like we're doing the right thing, and we don't want to like cause like this massive chaos. But on the flip side, it becomes the point that if you can't trust man to be responsible enough to have information on the truth, then your view is actually a shitty view. Because it's like, oh, well, you couldn't have it. You couldn't handle the truth. It means that like you're taking a superiority complex over the broad spectrum. And it's like Jorge was saying, oh, okay, cool. Well, we don't trust you we don't trust people enough to like be able to handle the truth. It's a little asinine. It's like, cool. It's like, oh, so I'm not demeaning. I'm not smart enough, and I'm not good enough to like. It makes it seem, oh, cool. The entire planet's really stupid, and we shouldn't. So I'm fully on board with like, if we can't handle the truth, we were never going to be able to handle it anyways, and we're never going to advance as a species. Like,
and I don't even think that there's anything like
that's
that.
What they think, I think.
I don't even think that there's anything in there that would like totally alter what we already know of the Bible. But like I was saying, any detail would just totally throw everything out the window. Nobody trusts anything.
Yeah, because that's why I feel like our government is now. They're like, well, we can't really tell the American people because they couldn't understand. So let's just keep making these 1,000-page bills, and they'll never know. So it'll be totally fine. So we'll all be rich.
But on that note, like if there was any ever a time, like it would be now because right?
Information age, baby.
I feel like people don't even give a fuck.
People don't give a shit.
Whatever comes out in the news or like, hey, we realized that even like back to the aliens. Yes, the Pentagon did. Eric, the Pentagon did confirm
Well,
yes, they did confirm. And
Anyways.
see, you got people like Eric that they're like, meh, really?
Eric, God,
I don't think so.
fucking consummate
They're fucking with
non-believer. Jesus.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
we're
if they're
65 episodes in, and Eric is still like, meh.
so now would be the time.
if you can just link me. Just link me.
I
me.
did.
Dude, go to like the DOD website.
No, it's fine. Just email
Like,
me.
Jesus
It's fine.
Christ.
I don't even
It's
want
like-
to text.
it's
I don't
li-
want to text.
Eric,
I want to email.
It's literally a
I don't
.gov. It's .gov. Like,
I want an email.
okay, Eric, what's your take?
Yeah. Okay, so here, this might be scandalous. Yeah.
Eric's like, it's all a lie.
No. So I very much respect Jesus as a person. I feel like he was a man that did amazing things. You know,
Fully believe that.
yeah, and I
100%,
feel like
100%.
he did incredible things, and I think what's there is just the story is wrong.
Yeah, they like got it fucked up.
Yeah,
I think mistranslated a little bit.
Yeah.
He was
mistranslated, or
he
like
was still a dope dude.
No, just the stories.
He was still a dope dude.
Yeah,
it just
the
happened
stories
differently.
are wrong.
Yeah, it just
the
happened
stories
differently.
are wrong.
Yeah.
Like maybe
You know?
maybe he never got crucified. Maybe he just like
No,
he
he
was
definitely
he
did.
was persecuted.
Definitely
No, he got crucified. But
No,
I
I'm
mean,
saying like, what if he was like hella
you know.
persecuted and like this,
Yeah.
but he like he overcame and then fucking we will overcome.
I'm not sure what the
he did
you know-
overcome it.
No, but I just think I think, and I keep saying this because I have a son and he was asking me about Jesus and I was like, dude, I think Jesus was great.
Dude's
Honestly,
dude's a solid guy.
I think he was a rad guy.
Dude, top 5 GOAT.
Yeah, and who tried to instill love, peace, temperance, all sorts of different things.
morals,
all
unity.
things-
All these
all
great
good
principles.
things. Yeah, like good things to learn upon. And I just think that the stories are wrong. And so we've, like you said, that's what we've known for 2,000 years.
You can't
The
change
story.
that.
You can't change it.
Yeah,
And
it's
you
like
can't change it.
the narrative's
There's no
gone
turning
on.
back.
The narrative's gone on so
That's
long,
right.
bro. It's like
That's
you're like,
right. So I do believe that that's what's there.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like people may like shit on it, but I'm like, dude, like
Yeah.
It's almost like
regardless,
I mean, it's
even if Jesus, like hypothetically, even if Jesus wasn't a dude, like you can't like shit on his message though.
No, I know.
Like, dude, what a great message.
I know.
Like, hey, like love your fellow man.
Love your neighbor.
I know. It's like be
right on.
be a good dude.
Yeah.
like just
I
like
know.
upstanding citizen. I'm like,
Yeah.
this guy's got.
You know, so I think there are things there. You know, I do think there are things there, and I think there are some
like
pretty rough.
What's the extent of
Like
the
how
things
many
Scandals?
things? No, like how much
I
shit
think,
is there?
I think
Scandals.
No, I think there's letters of
like
of
scandals.
things,
Oh yeah. Oh,
problems.
Oh, for sure. I mean, listen, we
Like
are
this
still
guy-
we are still talking about humans here.
Yeah.
So like, there's probably some
Yeah.
sketchy ass shit.
So like this guy embezzled that money. This guy
Yeah,
raped
yeah.
that.
Oh,
this
yeah.
guy did this thing.
Oh,
like,
100%.
all these things.
Oh, 100%.
So there's a lot. Like that could be a lot,
Dude, I mean,
You
we're
know what I
talking
mean?
like back to the 1400s.
And that's not even
We're like-
conspiracy. Like we know that shit came out.
Yeah.
like,
But there's records of that. Is what
oh,
you're
100%,
saying.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, and because they keep track of all the letters.
Oh, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, so that's what I think is all there. And I think that's a conspiracy.
Yeah, duh.
You know what I mean? You know. So
Well, fucking shit.
there you go.
There
That's
you
what we
have
got.
it. This one's for you, Duke.
Yeah. Thanks, Duke, buddy. All right. Well, if you guys have any questions, any hate mail, go ahead and or email us at shut the fuck up. Just kidding. We're just kidding. Yeah, we're just kidding. info@theconspiracypodcast.com.
Give us a follow on YouTube. We never shout out YouTube.
I know.
Yeah, dude. Hey,
We're just
the
getting
numbers
going.
are ticking.
We're just getting going.
We actually might have a
getting going.
solution for video soon.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
stay tuned.
A lot
right.
of you guys have asked
Yeah.
for that.
We've just been waiting for me to diet for like a year.
That ain't gonna happen.
No.
Yeah.
Eric's.
So we're just gonna move forward.
We're gonna work out the angles. We're gonna work out the like high end angles.
He wants a fucking drone.
I know. Literally, it's like we're gonna be shooting from the sky.
Just shoot the building.
Whatever. Shut up, Eric.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next time.
Nighty night.